Hello, and I am live from on the top of your head, and welcome back. It's been a while. I'll explain it, right? But it's a bit distracting. I think, because I haven't opened VTube Studio ever since, I stopped, streaming for a little bit. I think there's a new update that makes the watermark, like, unavoidable to some extent. Because you saw it. You saw the little chibi character fly over at the bottom of my screen of my VTuber model. That is a VTube Studio sort of watermark, and you can get rid of it by presumably paying. I have never thought that as something I would do because simply would just crop it in a way that just avoids a watermark. But now they've moved it to the center of the screen so that you can't avoid it. So, I'll figure this out, right? But for now, because I didn't have enough time to fix it before stream, I'm gonna go ahead and pop the bubble I'm in. Uh, Give me a second. It's not the fastest process. Okay, while this happens, right? What has been going on? I have well I had I have fully recovered now, but I had a bladder infection. That was the later more of the later parts, I would say the last week or so. I did plan to come back earlier, but that's what delayed that even further. But beyond that, prior to that was just a regular break that I was just taking for the sake of myself and just, taking a step back as I should, as I did. I'm sorry I didn't give y'all anything to work with really, but I kind of just assumed that y'all would understand. And now I'm back because I have to be. It's a parasite streaming, I mean. Hello from Grace Leon. Hello, I'm from the same place I always been. I well, first of all, on screen, we're drawing today because Art Fight is happening. And for those of you unaware, Art Fight is an art gifting game that happens every year where artists just start drawing each other's OC for the sake of fighting. Um, I'm sure there's a better way of explaining it, but I sure won't do that. So, we get into it. I'll talk more about what transpired during the course of me being outside somewhat, just generally not being online. I uh I don't know how long I of a break I took. I know it's quite a long time. I would think I would say a month or so maybe, but it's I generally don't really know well the amount of time I took off because I really didn't plan it and I just didn't think about it. I was like, it's gonna happen, and then whatever happens, happens. You get it, us with breaks. But oh, by the way, elaboration on the bladder infection as well, right? I have waited to recover fully until I recover fully and to come back because well, one, it was fucking painful, and I don't know if I can stream at at that state. I wouldn't be the best I could be, and that's not what I want you all to see. Simply, it's also I was instructed to drink a lot of water, and that leads to couple complications if I'm supposed to be stuck in front of my computer for a while. It's also that the recommended water is 2 liters per day, which isn't uncommon, but when you're doing so consciously, it gets to you. It feels like a lot more than it is, and I keep feeling like I'm bloated all the time and I have to piss all the time. Finally remember her password. Joke's on you, I never remember my password. I'm not even kidding. I don't remember the password. I just never logged out. And that's pretty bad practice for someone who has an internet presence at all. But I would say I am incompetent in everything I do and you can't stop me. How have you been doing, Leon? Good. The bladder thing, but that aside, good. I've been pretty great. Taking a break has really, you know, given me the time and space to kind of just, you know, put myself back where I was, ground myself again, and get back on track. I've been doing a lot of drawing. Follow me on Twitter where you can see mostly art. It's mostly art, I think, that I've been posting, because that's all I've been doing, and that in gaming. But I've been playing, like, less games, just like in general, over the last however many long. I've been seeing your art on Twitter, they all look great. Oh my god, thank you so much. I've been trying, dude. Like, you know, how me being a streamer isn't a career, and I don't plan for it to be. It's a hobby. But when it comes to art, I am definitely more passionate about it. It's something that, like, I've always been doing and I want to continue to be able to do, and like to genuinely like continuously improve. And I want you guys to see that too. To like go on the journey with me. Even though it's just like I think drawing serves as a good enough like footage to be on screen while I talk. I also think less when I'm drawing now because I've been getting used to drawing while talking on like Discord calls with friends. So I suppose I think my, you know, myself as a streamer has improved just offline, and ironically enough. I was going to go to Thailand, but remember you were there and it's highly probable you jumped me. You are so narcissistic to assume. No, here's the thing, right? The dangers in Thailand. I You can't consider me in there because I never leave the house. Therefore your logic is flawed. Because how can I jump you when I never leave my house? You know? It's a conclusion based on false logic or whatever people say. So, I'm doing art fight today as the content of the stream. I don't really have much beyond that. That's a trend. That's a thing that's been going on for a long time. But yeah, for those unaware, I'm just gonna be drawing other people's OC. That, mind you, I don't know. It's just mostly random artists I find on the art fight page. So, I will be giving credit to the original artist and the owner of the characters once I've done the art. You're gonna have to sit through that as well. The me submitting the attack. That's yeah. Since the last stream, Minecraft added copper art. Well, yep. I what did I expect, right? Not any better, that's for sure. Well. Huh? Oh, I forgot to multiply it. Damn it. Maybe this will be the time I make an account on Twitter. You know what? Yeah. As much as I hate that place, I do go on it regularly. There is some good stuff there, but they're like exceptions, not the rule. Example me. I post good stuff on there. It's just art. But like, just so you know, I post art on other places. I primarily it's Twitter and Blue Sky sometimes, but I'll be real, I don't think no like anyone really uses Blue Sky. At least like not that I know of. But like it's there and I want to put it there. I post on Blue Sky sometimes, but if you want to see a more complete collection of my recent art, VGen is a great place that I've been dumping my art into, that you can see in a beautiful collage that's more collected than Twitter. Because sometimes, right, on Twitter, I will just post stuff like, that's not art. Sometimes I do just have opinions and things to say that aren't just like me as an artist saying things. But if you, like, I don't think you want to see that. I don't know. But like, one just says the art, my portfolio, it's on VGen. and really convenient to look through. Um, Also, I'd like to note that I've been trying out Toy House as a platform to put my art as well, but the frustrating things is the file size limit. Look, I get it. I get it, I do. But like when I have an art piece that I put a lot of hours into, and then I try to upload it and it's like, oh, too big, gotta resize it. I don't want to do that. Suddenly, I don't want to post it on there anymore. And so I don't. I have some artwork on Toy House, but I'll try to, expand the collection eventually. I do have to get over the laziness first, but I promise that's something that I'm working towards actively, I'd like to say. I could show my friends this stream, not gonna lie, I think she's active, gonna start screaming. Oh, like, okay, for context, right? Lily is the one who provided me this character for Art Fight because I was looking for a character as well. This is from her friend. So, okay, Lily, I guess you could. I don't know if I want to spoil the surprise. I don't know if she wants the surprise spoiled. I guess you could just ask. That would be the solution, I would think. Also, like I've stopped having like making normal thumbnails. So I mean like it's the internet, right? You can't be that surprised. But it's funny that you're capable of showing this to like a random person and like there's no actual chance they're gonna know what's going on. Like just a thumbnail title. It's you know. Okay, well that aside, I've been having a dilemma with like the background of art. I've done background focus art once and it took me like a week. It was really great though. It was really great. But it took me a week. And I'm really proud of it, but I don't know how I feel about doing more background focus art. I'm gonna have to like spend more time on it, being handcuffed to the desk and forcing myself to do it. Things like those suck since raw files are too big, you have no choice but to compress the heck out of it. I know, right? And I don't want to do that. When I'm making art, the process of it, I'm never thinking about the size of it, which I know is my hubris, because, like, they just won't let me. But I don't know, man. I genuinely do not want to think about it when I'm doing art. That's not what I want to do. But then I don't want to go through that process of, oh, I have to compress it and resize it afterwards, because that's not fun. Will the cookie run thing continue? I think so. No promises though. Well, Cookie Run as a game will continue, like, to be a thing for me. It's been a thing for me for a long time and it will continue to be. I I just do fade out of hyperfixations occasionally, and I still play the game daily, although, playing the game on stream is a different thing. In general, so no promises, but I still do play the games. So what I've been up to, like game-wise, on break, I'm trying to think. I don't think I really went anywhere. I just sat around, and I think the games I play are not like notable at all. It was either the same things or a new thing that's not notable or important to anything that's gonna happen on stream. Right, so no, because I'm trying to think what I've been up to. I didn't make like notes for the stream because I didn't really like realize I was streaming. Because I set up the schedule a few days in advance because that's how I do things. But because I haven't been streaming for a while, I inherently just kind of, forget until like 3 a.m. today, where I was like, oh shit, I have streamed. So I am very underprepared for what is my comeback. I would consider to some extent. I've been on longer breaks, but that's like a weird one. That's not a normal break. This is. Is text to speech on? Nope. Uh, text to speech, I've kind of slowed on a bit. They will be on whenever I feel like it, essentially. I do definitely want to incorporate more gimmicks into the streams, but when it comes to text to speech, right? I think I want it more in a place where I can feel more in control of it. If that makes sense. Not in a way that like I want to suppress what you say, but when the difference is when it's in chat and I read them, I am the one who choose to verbalize it and immortalize it in this way. I have that control, and with text to speech is kind of more flimsy, and sometimes it could go wrong, and to some extent it has. I I will still turn text to speech on occasionally, but only when I have more of a grasp on it. Oh yeah, after Leg's last stream, I quit my last job and moved to another hospital pharmacy. My Honda Nice got stolen but recovered. Long live the Apple AirTag, and also I got a new PC. Yeah, yeah, up to a lot. Oh my lord. I've been comparatively doing pretty much nothing, which is not a complaint. I like it. I went out a few times, did a few things, but like nothing monumental has changed. I like it that way, you know? I think I don't I don't think I want an eventful life. I think that would be quite exhausting with just how I live in general. Living in a like unchanging flow is surprisingly nice. I was living the same life 5 months ago, and I'm still the same kind of thing. Uh, when it comes to my art and like how to improve, I have a very obvious struggle with colors. I think they were one of those aspects where I don't really know what to do with it. I have not, you know, really put in like the legwork to actually learn color theory that much, but yeah, I had. They just never stick with me in any meaningful way. And when it comes to art wise, it's not like that simple to the extent where like just different colors will look good on different art styles. And figuring that out for yourself is a long process that I have like avoided for years, and I still haven't tackled it. I know I thought last night was monumental. Okay, saying that is saying that could be interpreted in many different ways. And I would like to clarify it was a Discord call that I had with Lily and another friend of mine. It was the moment that I realized I should be streaming at 3 a.m. I'm currently in Mexico. Why are you guys different places? Why are you guys vacationing like overseas? That's not fair. That's not fair. I don't get to do that. Why do I get to? Hmm. Oh, okay. I'm salami. Dude, salami Leon is not that funny. You stomped this into the ground. I'm happy for you. You found joy in the name I made like 5 years ago. Was it that long? It's not. I'm just making it up, maybe. But like, you've like really doubled down on this salami Leon thing. Happy for you, but like, is it like that good? I am vacationing in Mexico because I'm Mexican. That's fair. But like, dude, I have Chinese heritage. Never went there once. And that's just like how I've lived. And like like in general, I've not like been overseas many times. Because like I do, in recent times favor myself to like, yeah, I do want to go to some places, maybe. But there's like, oh man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to like handle it really. Because there's so much when it comes to like, you know, going on a plane and the documents that come with, and just like in general being more bothersome than I really want to deal with. That whenever I thought of like vacationing overseas, I just went, oh, I don't want to anymore actually. I'm Filipino, so I'm basically a sea Mexican. I don't really understand where the comparison. I just like sometimes pronounce word weirdly. That's been happening recently. I don't know if it's been documented on stream in recent times, but that's what I've been up to. Just on the spur of a moment, I can like pronounce things kind of off in a really off-putting way. I don't know what happened, TBH. Maybe I'm just getting worse at English, which is really depressing, considering out of the two languages I speak, English is the one I'm better at. So, oh, you know what? I took a trip across the country and had to fly, right? I hate flying, but it was 3 flights. What? Three? To where I was going and 2 different flights back. Okay. Let me. I live in a country that's, I would consider, relatively small. And in my entire life, never have. Okay. Telling you this, whenever I went to visit my grandparents on my dad's side that lives all the way south of the country, it would take 1 flight. But more than that, it was enough for me and my family to just drive there. It took a while, sure. It took us like, I would say, roughly 2 days if you were being chill with it. Roughly 2 days to get there. And that's how I always thought of like traveling cross country or just like going somewhere far but in the country, of just, oh yeah, it's like a several days long road trip. And then like, cuz I, I just can't wrap my head around it. 3 flights to get to one place? Took the cheapest trip I could fly, so I basically got put on a bunch of connecting flights. Oh, is it like that? I don't know. I'm not. I've been on a plane once, so I don't really know like much of how like it works with like pricing and whatnot. But like still though, imagine that be like a lot. I think that may be worse than a several days long road trip to me. Like just a little bit, because like it's a plane. Like there, I think I've been thinking about this to myself for a while, right? About like, would I choose to fly? Would it be the aisle seat or the window? Because I don't remember like what my choices were when I went on the plane that one time, but like there, like when it comes to convenience, right? I'd imagine the aisle seat. If I go on that flight and the person sitting next to me was someone I don't know, I sure as hell don't want to talk to them to ask if they could like shimmy a bit so I can get to the bathroom. That sounds embarrassing and triggers my social anxiety. But like I have a track record of struggling with my motion sickness. So if I were to, like try to like not be motion sick, looking out the window is my number one solution. Like almost every time on a vehicle. And that has worked pretty good for me. If I'm on the aisle seat, and what if I just have really bad motion sickness and don't have any immediate solutions to me? What then? Do I just like die? I don't know. Again, middle seat every time with strangers, that sounds horrible. It sounds like a nightmare. Dude, I could not. It's like being surrounded by one stranger is already bad enough. Like, two is too much. And I've heard okay, I know that I'm more likely to be paranoid because of the media I consume. And the chances of bad things actually happening to me when you're sitting next to a stranger on a flight isn't that high. I've seen nightmares happen. And like, when it comes to stories, they're mostly just overbearing. Like, just like an old person asking too many questions, or just them snoring too loud, being inconsiderate. But that being like the lesser of the evil is not great, considering my chances. The area of Mexico I'm currently in has so many scorpion species that a scorpion is named after the state. The scorpion is just so happens to be one of the most dangerous in Mexico, so that's fun. I know you mean that with irony, but I unironically think that's fun. So I don't know what that says about me. See, here's the thing, right? I just am interested in like places with very like a lot of well, would you consider this instance biodiversity? I'm not entirely sure. But what I mean to say is, right, when like a place has specific ties with animals or, multiple of them, I'm like, what's going on there? I kind of want to know. Above being someone who's interested in animals in general, I am also, part of my language, a nosy bitch. I do want to know what the scorpions are up to, even if they're dangerous. But see, I'm not privy to scorpions and knowledge about them I don't have. But my question is, how dangerous is the most dangerous in Mexico? Because, um, you know, contrary to popular beliefs, most poisonous animals aren't lethal. Of course, there are exceptions that live in Australia, but most of the time, when you're talking about poisonous animals and bugs, they're the type of kind that when you get bit by one, get poisoned by one, you kind of just feel sick for it for a while. Normally, if you go to medical professionals, you do get that sorted out quite easily. And like that, I found that like quite later on when it comes to snakes specifically, because snakes are definitely more scary than they are. And so like I've always thought that what it means for a snake to be poisonous means that they are lethal. Do you think you'll be on night shift for later? I don't know. See, I haven't made up my mind whether or not I want to fix my sleep schedule or not. Because, well, it's fun, right? To have like a late night Discord session. That sounds wrong, but you get what I mean. I hope. But, like, I do worry for like a random day that I'll have like something to attend to during the day. I am not great at like being sleep deprived. I okay, hear me out, right? Some people are better at it than others. I've seen I mean, you just get used to it, right? But like, if I get sleep deprived, I am gonna be very like dead. It's gonna affect my decision making more than others. It's gonna affect like a lot more, and I'm just not gonna be feeling great in general. Which is why like my sleep schedule shifts a lot because whenever it does go a little bit weird, I do want to fix it. But the problem is, I'm still unemployed and have free time, in technical terms. Even if I do have things to attend to, how important is that really, considering my situation? But it's also like, I like hanging out with my friends. I do want to be there. It's just a balance of like priorities I'll have to like sit down with myself and think about. But sure, why not? I'll be on night shift. I will be awake until 4 in the morning because why not? Hmm. Honestly, considering I've not been thinking about like what I'm doing consciously with this piece, I've been doing good. Like good enough, you know. I haven't drawn anything where I just fully like took my hands off the handle for a while now. Cause I think I've been thinking about my process and like how my style and its inconsistencies affect the quality of my art and you know all the boring stuff. The Durango scorpion can be lethal without medical treatment. That's what I'm saying. That's the thing too, is that most of poisonous animals that are labeled dangerous is labeled so because the assumption of the lack of medical treatment, which when it comes to if you got bit by a venomous scorpion, the likelihood of you going to the doctor for that is very high. Therefore, you probably would survive with some amounts of pain and fatigue, but that's, you know, that goes for most of like what is poisonous in the animal kingdom because they've evolved to be poisonous to their predators, which are a lot of the time smaller than you and don't have medical attention. I There are some exceptions. I Again, mostly in Australia. I think the blue ring octopus has always been a standout for me in terms of poisonous animals because of how small it is. People have been fearful over poisonous animals that are much larger that can't even kill you if they try, i.e., some, like, you know, some population of the venomous snakes. But the blue ring octopus strike me as so sure, it does look poisonous, but so small. Yet in a way it's like much more lethal than you would naturally assume of something so like, you know, cute and tiny. Your motto is frozen? Oh, for fuck's sake. Right, so, okay, okay. I'm. Why is nothing going right? Is it my camera? I swear to God. Oh, I I have made it apparent across my time as a streamer. I do not know how to fix things. Therefore, I will try my best, and if it doesn't work, you'll just have to deal with it. Okay? Deal, deal. That's how it's been. That's how it will continue to be forever. Hello? Eat it! Oh, I swear to God. Okay, it's frozen again now. What the fuck? My face is directly looking into the camera. It worked earlier. Hello? Now it does it. What the hell? Okay, I thought it was my camera, and I still have the suspicion currently. But the problem with that is I'll check, right? I'll check. Uh, ugh, let me tilt my camera up just in case it shows. I don't think it does. Okay, okay, the cam. What? What is wrong with the camera? Okay, so good news first. The camera works. Bad news. I don't know what's going on. It might be in the process of not working anymore. That is concerning. I'll get back to it after stream. For now, a temporary fix, I suppose I'll put up an image. Uh, I am narcissist, so I keep like a lot of images of me. Okay, let's do this one. Shout out to I probably will put credits. Shout out to Raya, a friend of mine who made this in a trade commission for me. I'm using it because I have it's gorgeous and I have no other choices. Camera's doing weird things. Like I'm trying to think about like oh I'm I'm in that part of my life where a lot of technology that I am using are starting to not work. And I have to get replacements and fixes for them, and I'm exhausted. Cause my iPad, right? The button that is used to turn it on and off is broken and sunken in, so I have to get that replaced and fixed. But like the iPad itself is also, in hard times. It's been a few years since I brought it home, so to do it, don't have more things break on me. It's so much. It's so much. They all went from VTuber to just tuber. I'm just tube now. I've embraced the reality of what I am and I can't fix it. Well, crash out aside. No, I'm not putting that aside actually. Why is everything going wrong? I have done my best, I think. I don't know. I think I did I know a lot of it is just from me not streaming for a while, therefore weird things happen and whatnot. Where did the reference window go? What did I do? Huh? Oh, it's here. Okay. You're alive? Yeah, unfortunately. I don't mean that. Just to clarify, right? But yeah, I braved through my bladder infection and made it out alive. At what cost? At what cost? Hello? My first stream back and everything is going wrong. I don't know how to do a background for this one. I don't know if I should. I could just slap patterns on it and be done with it. I don't. Okay, you know what? Yeah, sure. That's what I'm gonna do because I have another outfit to get to. I don't do sketches on stream because I think that process is not fun to look at. And just like genuinely, my sketch process is just not, you know, it's not great. It's a process that only really I can sit through. And I want to go project so that we've talked about it. I, therefore, before stream, have just sketched things that I will continue on stream. And that is just how it is. Man, Minute Maid tastes better. Tastes better good. I'm having a stroke. Lily, you're doing things to me in a really bad way. But also, I was so worried about you and thought you were addressed for addressed for still 2-minute Kinder Eggs. Side note, that is still going on. I'm still stealing Kinder Eggs from my local 7-Eleven. It's been great. And I mean it. See, here's the thing, right? I mean, like, all the assumptions of someone taking a break from content creation were correct. I was sick and I was going through things, like, mentally. But it's not that bad in any way, so I assure you, everything's fine. Just an off period, which, tends to happen, unfortunately. Let's do. Hmm, I know it isn't pretty, but I'm doing my best. I mean, Minute Maid tastes better than I expected. I don't even really know what it is, I'll be real. What the fuck is Minute Maid? Maybe that's my problem, actually. I just have a lack of knowledge. Just my scope is too small. Okay, that should be done. I'm not satisfied with it. Let me try, right? Let me try. A little bit. I think this color is too dim and makes it look weird. Oops. Minute Maid is a brand of orange juice. Okay. Well, I kind of dislike orange juice, so here's the thing, right? I don't think I inherently dislike orange juice. But what happened is my dad, causes of all problems. My dad likes orange juice, and when I was living at my parents' house, of course him liking orange juice become my problem. And because like according to him, I just wasn't having enough fruits and veggies, so he would buy orange juice for me to drink, and that would get to you eventually, and you just kind of start hating it. A lot of things I don't like is like that, where it's just, oh, I had it as a child too much, and now I don't like it anymore. That's why I learned to never, like, consume anything too much, just in general. It's a good lesson, but like, maybe not for the reasons that you should be consuming things in moderation. This looks odd and weird and out of place. Let's hit save. Look, I like the character. Just, looks great. I also recognize that I'm trying my best to make it look pretty and presentable because I'm giving it to someone. But I'm also recognizing that I'm doing this for free. And like it hit me at the background stage. The sprite, I'm fully capable of just making it good. But the second it hit the background, I go, dude, I can't make it good. I have an identity crisis and attack mid time. The difference between other scorpions and Rango scorpions, it kills in minutes. Oh, okay. The gang is back. Not gonna lie, I'm not feeling the background. Yeah, right? I mean, yeah. I'm not feeling it either. But see, to me, the initial plan for me was to just make the background like from scratch. But the problem with that is, right, this is what I sketched before stream. And I was like, well, I plan on doing 2 attacks a day. I know that with the time I wake up, this is relatively near the start of the day. I would suggest using star patterns. She does stars in her design. See, I would agree. Unfortunately, I have given up. In my defense, the background is very easily erased since the way I do line art outlines the outer line very harshly. And if the background, was to be changed, I would have no qualms. Secondly, it's very easy to do so. Guys, I'm on vacation. I can't sleep here. Real, so real. I went on vacation the last time with like, last time with my family I went. It was like fine, but the problem was the sleep was really difficult. I generally have a hard time sleeping in an environment I'm not familiar with. But like even then, like it's just a lot when it comes to like just being out on vacation. The bed are generally pretty uncomfortable, like 9 times out of 10. Even if you do get a good hotel, it's more likely that you'll just feel out of place and the blankets are very stiff. Like very stiff. So you just kind of aren't having a good time. Yeah, melatonin gummies. See, I personally have never tried melatonin gummies, even when I was struggling with sleep, and I don't really have a solid reason for it. It just felt off to me. And from what I've heard from people who do struggle with sleep, melatonin gummies like can give you weird dreams. And yeah, there are some side effects that come with melatonin gummies. It's not really that accessible to me anymore. They don't really sell them at the local 7-Eleven anymore, so I don't actively seek it out. I feel like I would probably try them one day, just like for the sake of it, see if it works for me. Cause I feel like it's more of a personal thing. It's like caffeine as a solution for sleepiness, kind of. You're like, it'll work for some people it might not, or it might come with like, side effects. I've been having worrying nightmares all month. Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, that goes away soon. How we feel in chat? I am not a part of chat, so I cannot answer that question. Simply just a question I have to just ignore. Goodbye now. Oh, okay. Great seeing you around, Toki, I suppose. For 3 seconds. I used to take melatonin every day for like a few months, I think. Ooh. I don't really like know much from like cause like the anecdotes I've heard about melatonin are mostly from the internet. I think I've known like people personally that like use melatonin. It's like I think to be fair, the people in my life don't really struggle with sleep. Like I take a really long time to fall asleep just in general. About like I would say 20 minutes to fall asleep. I can't fall asleep while I'm being stimulated, so I've never fallen asleep at my desk, at least not my like at home desk. Um, and then I've never fallen asleep like watching something. Like sometimes I have to sleep with a YouTube video on in the background to, I don't know, I just don't like the silence sometimes. But with that, I have to just be listening to the video. I can't watch it. If I watch it, I won't sleep. I have to like turn off the video to sleep. Sorry, haven't been active. Dude, I don't think you have to say sorry for that, considering I haven't been active and I do not apologize. Look, I, as a streamer, do feel a sense of obligation. Not as a career, it's just a hobby, but you guys enjoy seeing me here, so I want to be here. But whenever I take breaks, well, if I just like if I disappear without explanation for too long, probably do check up on. Like I don't know how, but like make a note of that. I might just die, but otherwise, sometimes I take breaks, and I can't be sorry about that because I don't want to put myself in a box where I'd feel obligated to stay, you know. Well, I want to do a live update since everyone is here. I'm gonna start streaming. I got my first commission. 3 chickens of mine died. Oof. My transgender cousin is in love with me now. Okay, that's a lot to unpack. First of all, congrats on the first-ish part of that. Streaming is fun. I hope you enjoy it. Congrats on the commission. It's very fulfilling and I love doing commissions. I get to share that joy with you. What the fuck? 3 chickens. First of all, RIP. Love chickens. Rest in heavens. What? Okay, first of all, I don't know why the cousin being transgender is a part of this. Oh, live! Oh, and here I thought it was just like a bomb being dropped on me. Being dyslexic isn't your fault, but you did give me a heart attack. I do expect an apology letter by my desk tomorrow morning. For the chickens, so real. I used to have chickens too. I had a family of chickens when I was younger and don't really remember it that well. But like on my more like, you know, like adult teens life, we had a couple of chickens that we bought for our grandparents and was just babysitting it for a while, like for a few months. And like I will say, chickens as pets are so slept on. They're great, dude. They are fun to have around. I like watching them eat. I like feeding them by hand. Feeding chickens by hand, very fun. It hurts a little bit, especially if you're a child, but generally very fun. And they wake you up in the morning. What more could you need? Really? I especially like the awakening cry of specifically an adolescent male chicken because their cries aren't fully developed yet, so they just kind of their voice kind of cut out towards the end. It's like if a wolf is howling, but like halfway through he just stopped. It's really good. Hi wife, unfortunately I must sleep. This now? Yes, on, right? Sit with me. I know you've been having a lot on your plate recently. You've been running around, having a lot of things going on in your personal life. This early? You are not who you were. You've changed. Well, good night nonetheless. I look forward to seeing you around. I love you, good night. But also, huh? I am. Huh. I'm so sleepy. What was your sleep schedule recently? Okay, I'll predict it, right? Because this pattern, I assume it's because whatever you do during the day, whether it's uni or whatever else that you do, you got really exhausted by the end of the day, i.e., like before the sun sets and you start sleeping that time. And waking up at around 3 a.m., I just assume. Hmm. Also, I'm doing a noticeably worse job at doing line art on stream than rendering. Well, now I know my strong suits when it comes to drawing while streaming. Brush teeth in the dark is not fun. I agree, but my question is why? Rip though. Yeah, you're right. I'm so right. I know my wife so well. It's just because I did the same thing when I was in school. Dude, I hope it passed by quickly so you can spend like late nights on night shift. I mean, you're not missing out on much. For the past few days, night shift has just been trauma dumping sessions at like 3 in the morning. But regardless. Oh, I didn't do a very good job, huh? Huh. I'm so sorry to the owner of this character and Lily's friend, the one I just finished the attack for. I'm doing my best, I promise. Mass producing art, I haven't done it in a while, so it's gonna take me a while to get back into my groove. I midnight shifts VC. It is peak. It is peak. And there's something uniquely fun about just talking when it's really late in the night. It's like a sleepover kind of magic, but you're just not in the same room or talking about sleepover topics. You don't even have a bowl of snacks you can share with each other. But the spirit carries on. It's fine, she'll love it. Oh, I imagine. Trauma dumping sessions at 3 a.m. is something everyone can enjoy a little bit of, It's, got universal appeal. Kind of fun. Dude, I'm not getting this. So, the thing about me doing line art is that when it's a piece where the sketch is a little bit rushed, a lot of the line art would differ a lot from it, and I will suffer from it. Because trying to, like, you know, draw the same parts, but trying to, like, separate it from the guide that is directly underneath it is some levels of difficult. Hmm. Oh, there's a bow in the back. I'm so sorry. Okay, that's not a bow. That's a tail. That's a tail. I can still add it. I can still add it. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. They always ask why, but never why not. Who is the they you speak of? Also, did VTuber get the milk? Me? I'm the metaphorical VTuber dad in this case. I did. I have some wisdom to share as the metaphorical milk here. So the classic philosophical questions of pancakes or waffles, right? Pancakes or waffles. I have figured out a formula. I personally prefer the taste of waffles, but when it comes to convenience, of course pancakes, because you can make it yourself without a single-use appliance. So what I do is I would buy waffle batter from the grocery store and just make it like a pancake. It's really good, actually. I would recommend it. I it like waffles are to me more flavorful on its own. Maybe that's just my mind's playing tricks on me. But also the ingredients that is used to make the batter, at least the one that I bought, were better than the alternative of buying pancake mix. Here's my thing, right? Pancake mix throughout my experience has been the pancake mix and then eggs and milk, which is fine. But the problem is with milk, I do not just have milk around because I'm not someone to drink milk. I don't only have it around if it's an ingredient, and that's very wasteful. So, with waffle batter, the ingredients for at least my current one are water, egg, and get this, either butter or vegetable oil, which you are more likely to just have around and it doesn't spoil as quickly, so you don't feel as bad about it. You milk Leon, I need to be sedated. True, I will fund you getting sedated. Not like that. I don't like neither. I prefer drinking at least 2 liters of coffee per morning. I'm glad that if you disagree with me, it's in a way that paints you in a much worse light. I've almost never had a have had pancakes that was completely unsweet. See, for me though, when I make myself pancakes, I always find it quite weird in texture and taste. That's just the byproduct of getting something that is, instant sometimes. But I feel that way less with waffle mix. I am big waffle propaganda. Sedate Lily Yuri button. Where is that arrow pointing to? Oh, is that the report button? That's funny. I suppose that is one way to do it. Well, some of you who have been timed out in my chat before can chip in whether or not it feels like sedation. I meant that wasn't unsweet. My bad. Yeah, no, it's fine. I generally have a hard time just grasping words. The likelihood of people in my chat being either dyslexic or just misspeaking just in general is quite high. Just from what I've seen, not a dig. Just I'll get used to it. It's my fault. Not my fault. It's my duty and not your fault. Keep being yourself, even if that means I don't know what you're talking about. That happens a lot, actually. Sometimes I do just be either clueless or I'm just not getting the memo, which comes with being neurodivergent. So it just makes everything just kind of more incoherent when both the streamer and the audience is this way. But it's fun. I wouldn't have it any other way. I am so real about that. I'm gonna do another like random hit towards the cishet community. The cis heteros are like, I'm referring to them in general and not as like specifically normies. I'm talking generally people who are neurotypical and cishet. I find very hard to connect to, and occasionally I will see them pop up on social media, and I just find it hard to connect with how they just generally operate, you know. And I generally would not want like like a average audience of people I can't connect with. Because, the point of streaming is for me to sit down with a bunch of internet strangers while I pretend that, we're friends. Kind of. You're not my friends. Not me, like, trying my best to navigate saying that without like, making it, like, a pandering to, like, parasocial social relationships. Because I don't want that also. Look, me as a someone on the internet is just that. I'm just a random person on the internet. You can ask me advice. You can talk to me about things that happened in your life. It just won't be a guarantee of anything. My dad caught me reading Old Man Yaoi in this vacation. I'm cloaked. Like, did he just see it and then never talk about it? I mean, also, what's yaoi? You shouldn't hear it from me. Look, I know that I have somewhat a reputation as a yaoi master with how much I read on a regular basis. Yaoi scale love, yes, it's more than that. But I think it's important when it comes to these terms to find out for yourself through means that are more like legitimate. Say Google, Wikipedia, where you can get a more like true to the truth answer of what it is. Because what I found is a lot of internet terms, or generally anything that people have to learn via the internet, gets diluted because different peoples have different ideas of what that thing may be. For example, yaoi to many people is anime culture and is reserved for animes and mangas, while other people would kind of define it as a more global like thing of gay men media being yaoi. And there's different nuances in that, whether or not like a gay character that falls in love in a show is considered yaoi or not. And I think it's better if you're curious about something to hear it from the horse's mouth. Just so you know, I say Google would be your best place. You can cross-reference things. You can get from different sources that have different opinions on things. You don't fucking use ChatGPT. Look, I'm not your parent. But if I can raise you on something, if I may, ChatGPT is never where you ask questions. Because a lot of the newer generations that are in school right now are using ChatGPT as more than just, I think a lot of it misses the point. When it comes to ChatGPT specifically answering questions, I have more qualms with AI generative in general, but when it comes to ChatGPT in like quelling your curiosity, for example, it can get things wrong, and often it does, because ChatGPT spits out things in a way that is an answer to your question and doesn't provide much nuances to certain topic that might need it. Google is yaoi. With who? With itself? As itself says? He saw it and looked at me and then walked away. You've been judged. But you've been spared. Yeah, you've been judged, but you've been spared. Yeah. I've been caught by my parents for this thing before too, where I was buying physical manga. But the thing is, like, I was lucky enough that day, right? That I bought specifically a BL manga that was more quaint. It wasn't that explicit. It was a genuine, like, more lore focused love story. So when my dad asked to do a check of it, he didn't find any explicit scenes skimming through it because there just weren't that many in there except for at the very end. So I got away at the skin of my teeth, and I have learned to just pirate from there on out. Why does it have to sound exactly like that one chocolate brand? What? Yaoi? Now I'm questioning what chocolate brand you're talking about. Question: how does a screenless tablet work? Also, what do you use and does it connect to Android? Okay, I use a screenless tablet from Wacom, and it connects to a USB port. And how it works is, yes, I think you can technically connect it to Android, though I don't know if you want to. A screenless tablet is, I would say, of it's pretty sizable even at the smallest. It is like a little bit smaller than an iPad. So if you connect it to an Android device, I assume it's either a phone or an iPad that, when in combination with a screenless tablet, doesn't work well because of its size. But yeah, you can do it in technically, but I don't know if you want to, because it is some like a money you put down to buy the screen and tablet, and if the only device you use it with isn't like really compatible with it, you know, that's money you pour down the drain, and I don't want that. Yoi chocolate. Okay. Welcome to another episode of Leon Learns Things. Because my viewer base is so global. It's a chocolate egg? Oh my god, that thing is ugly. Okay. I I mess with the concept of chocolate eggs a lot. As you can tell by me shoplifting several non-stop. But if the mascot, is that the point? Is the mascot looks ugly so you want to tear it apart? I remember the spelling, but this still sounds the same. Yep, I think I found it. I think you led me to the right source. So I use a Vecchi one and connected that to my phone. It works okay, but that depends on the device that's connected to. Yep. Pretty much boils down to that. But like the it has to be like, it has to make sense with the amount of money you're using to buy the screenless tablet in comparison to like other devices that you use to do digital art. It's just a lot of, seeing what you're willing to pay for kind of what level of convenience, what level of quality. See, to me, surprisingly enough, finding like the right side of, right thing of equipment and like software to use when it comes to digital art is way more important than you think. Because artists can prevail everywhere. They can do great things everywhere. I'm not, I'm not a narcissist. I'm admiring artists. I'm saying, like, this is a saying about, like, they can just make great art in the sand with a stick. That is true, but having equipment and just the right place with the right setup just for you helps a lot when it comes to just feeling comfortable enough to make good art. Because that does affect what you make a lot of the times. I used to get 15 billion ads for that damn chocolate. Dude, I am so, like, recently, right? After I got YouTube Premium, I haven't really experienced advertising in my like daily life, cuz when you just watch YouTube all day and play video games and draw, there's not much ads you come across, so I have no idea what's relevant in terms of like the ad sphere and what people are getting advertised to like a lot. I think the only exposure I have to it in daily life is something like, I would say, Twitter or like whatnot. And ads I do get served on the regular are on sites that isn't reliable for this kind of like what gets advertised nowadays kind of thing. Gotta go, parents are back. Damn, L. Good luck on that. We pray that your dad doesn't ask you to explain the old man yaoi. Also, the yaoi chocolate itself still looks like the wrapper. Yeah, I saw that, and it's like I I don't get the psychology behind ugly mascots. Maybe there's something there. Maybe people who go to business schools will know better than me in this subject, but I just don't get it. There's a lot of mascots out there that are just unappealing, and I don't get the point. Oh, drawing a bow upside down is it's weird. It looks odd. I want to get a Pablo tablet, but I feel like my dad won't get it for me for my birthday. Oof, that's rough. You make do with what you can. Best of luck to you. Hmm. Shockingly, I'm almost done with like the basic line art. That's crazy. Do you think I can manage more than two? See, the the foundation of like the previous art, the one that I was rendering, was done yesterday. So like I'm trying to like parse out how many can crank out a day. Look, art fight is fun for all the reason that drawing is fun. Especially with other people, just getting to interact with artists. But like I think it's a good test of my limits, especially for speed and just general limit on like quantity. Because I've been discovering more about myself and that like side of my art where I discover that the more I crank out a day, the quality isn't what suffers, it's the diversity. Because sure, putting more time into it make the art better, but with my like general like, pacing and just the way I do things, that's the quality isn't necessarily what suffers, not the most at least. It's just the general diversity of things like poses and facial expressions and just theming in general. I lose the ability to make something new. And so I'm trying to get that checked, or if it makes sense. Like what I'm trying to do here, right? This one is a bust up shot of a relatively simple illustration, a very simple pose. And this one is more elaborate with more of the body being shown, so it is inherently harder, but I want to treat them at the same level with the same consistent amount of speed to some extent. No souls to eat here, I'm leaving. Dude, the 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 bits you guys put up with like alt accounts, I will say, I whenever I have a several accounts of something of a particular social media or game, I don't think if it doesn't serve any specific purpose, I just don't touch it. Most like social medias that I'm on, I only have one account because it's easier to manage that way. Even though I don't remember passwords, but that's just besides the point. Oh, my neck hurts. Let me drink water, actually. Before I forget, right? I have to drink water. And unless my bladder gets infected again. Ugh. Right. So, water, eh? I suspect that my infection was the result of not drinking enough water, which tends to happen whenever I'm on medication. Not to blame it, as Not drinking enough water is entirely my fault and I should have been better. But a lot of it to me is whenever I'm on meds, I tend to forget a lot of maintenance that I do to myself, uh, which massively is water. I also eat less when I'm on medication, not to a dangerous degree. I just don't snack much. Uh, I've been trying to like fix that. I don't know, find some way to mitigate the effects of it. Kurt, yo, dude, can I say, right? This bit I have witnessed from one of my friends saying it, the Gert Yo thing. But because of that, first time I heard it, I was like, what does that mean? And like, cause sure as hell don't want to ask, because from what it looks like, it just looks like a random thing, you know? I think it is. I assume I'm on the right track, is under the right assumption. But that's what it is, right? It's the random funny thing, which is, I'm not hitting on that. I'm fine. I find random things funny all the time. But like finding out about it for the first time and having the urge to ask what that means and being like, but like the answer is gonna be just because it's funny. Probably not much beyond that. And I don't really know where it came from still. I don't get it. I don't know if I should though. Like, it's just a thing that's funny. Maybe it's funnier if I just don't know or don't care. A lot of memes exist that if you know the history, it actually gets worse. You know, uh, sometimes that just is how it is. Can I say, I'm not a fan of Italian brain rot. Like, on a lot of levels. Brain rot in general, I'm not averse to. I recently, if you went over to my Twitter, was asked to do a commission where I drew Skibbity Toilet, and oddly enough, I was really happy with it, even though I could have put more effort in, it could have been better, whatever. That all aside, it was fine and fun. It, something that I myself was like, well, that's a thing that exists, and I can make lemonade out of it. Well, I seen that. Yeah, I was debating for a really long time whether or not to post it, but I did. So go check that out as a plug. Um, but when it comes to Italian brain rot, right? From what I understand, massively it is AI, and that's part one. That's strike one, by the way. That's strike one of like why I feel kind of like about it. But like that's, a lot of new age, new internet things at the moment. It's a lot of AI, and I can't exactly just, But like other brain rot content has like more stuff behind it. Skibbity Toilet is a great example. Was it brain rot and stupid? Yes, but there's a story. There's a genuine like storytelling effort there, and that I can admire. When it comes to like Italian brain rot, it's just a lot of it. It's just not fucking funny. I'll say it. It's just not funny. I love random XD humor. I don't like Italian brain rot. Okay, more than that, right? Some, from what I've heard, just has roots in things that are generally unsavory that people that are not privy to Italian things won't catch, which is, the downsides of fouling a foreign meme is that, from what I've heard, the shark that are wearing shoes, that one, has pretty heavy racist in undertones, and no one knows, or the people who does just doesn't care, or just don't get the reach that they do, which is, it's a brain rot. It's for children and they don't catch anything and they don't care, which is fine. But, personally, worst kind of brain rot so far. I would rather the Costco guys. I would rather the Skibbity Toilet. I would rather any Gen Alpha slangs that were made within the past 2 years that are not that. I see so many people decry AI, then share AI generated memes, right? I don't like to separate it that way. I have an ethical problem with AI, generative AI, mind you. And that for me means that there is no exceptions. People sometimes just, oh yeah, I hate AI until it's funny. And that's not the takeaway because that's not the problem with AI. I also take issue with how some people phrase the problem with AI is it looking bad. Like people making fun of AI images because they don't generate hands very well is one thing. But saying that that's one of the negative things about it isn't true and shouldn't be the argument. Because they will get better. And the moral dilemma of it has nothing to do with the quality. At least not in that way. Bombadero Cocodrillo has the worst translation of them all. Look it up. Alright, man, whatever. I'm gonna have to type all that, but sure. I could just copy and paste it. I can't, okay. I'm tinkling with the. Don't do it. Okay. YouTube? Just let me copy a text. And also, so many artists that say you can always tell it's AI that will post like 12 pieces of AI art, right? Don't let your guard down. I think, okay. Translation. Huh. Oh. Oh yeah, that's terrible. Right. So I just pray and hope this will go away. Right? Just saying because it's AI looks bad is crazy too, because since there's accounts with like 300K followers that just post AI art, and every day you'll see people finding out it's just AI. Yeah, and as much as it's disheartening to come to that conclusion, there are a lot of artists that are just straight up using AI, but fusing it with some of their actual skills and aspects to make it undetectable. That doesn't make what they do good. Still, it's about human creation and artistry that's at risk, and the quality is never the takeaway. Oh, hey Jinko, welcome to the stream. First time here, I suppose. And they're not even trying to hide it. It'll say right there in their bio that stable diffusion. Yeah. I will say, like, even in like AI that's detectable to me, like I realize that I'm relatively good at detecting AI, but I hate how the internet and AI has made me question things. I will see something cool on social media like Twitter, and I'll have to zoom in to see if it is AI or not. Every now and again, I see an artist I respect, and I zoom into their piece thinking, what if they change and use AI? Because that has happened before to a very famous artist that I personally admire that has, admitted to using AI and multiple times at that. And like here I was, I don't want to doubt the people of like the works I like, especially when it's something that because of the reason of it is inherently something good, like them posting high quality art really fast. If it wasn't for AI, I go, wow, this is really fucking good. I admire them. But now that's suspicious, and I don't want to think like that. And I don't think you should think like that. But the skepticism is, mind you, you should probably don't not say it to them. Even if you are suspecting them of like using generative AI, make sure that you know what you're talking about, i.e., have more solid proof. If you ever think of accusing them in any way, because that does hurt genuine artists. Hmm. Right. And also, while we're on the topic of AI, like VTubers, a very a community very, very like near and dear to artists, because VTubers are just nothing without artists. They're what is the fabric of the community, what built VTubers. But like a lot of VTubers are starting out that doesn't have the resources, just decided that they're gonna use AI art because it's easy and accessible. Here's the thing though, I think that sure, while I'm an artist makes me my start as a VTuber easier and cheaper, and art though is a luxury and not a necessity. You don't need to VTube. You also don't need AI. There are free resources out there that if you go digging, you'd find. And I just don't have like any sympathy for them. I'm not the most financially, successful people. I'm unemployed. But even then, like, there are so many other ways than just to stab the backbone of the community. Fun fact, an AI made video of glass fruits being cut absolutely blew up on TikTok and got millions, if not billions, of views. I saw that on Twitter, briefly when it was being rotated in discussion for a bit. And to me, right, I could never relate to the people's excitement of it. Because to me, what I got from those types of videos was a sense of fear. Because I don't want it to. It wasn't that glasswood thing specifically. It was the video of a fake mukbang that also kind of blew up a little bit. I don't want them to make real people. Like, sure, them threatening the career artist is scary. But what's scarier is what they can do to the legacy of the people's lives that they can just make up that's not true at all. For a lot of years, video evidence was one of the only concrete ways you can just prove something. But now that, like, we don't have that anymore, it has really scary implications. I understand the allure, right? Someone just wants a character design, so they whip up some crap and they get it done properly, but a real artist, but they rob themselves of that critical thought process of designing a character. Exactly. Peek behind the curtains. I'm designing a new model right now for Leon. And while sure, the process is grueling, but that a lot of it went into that. A lot of redoing things when you don't think it's gonna work. A lot of just genuinely putting your experience as someone who's seen a lot and done a lot into what makes it beautiful as a design. AI don't think like that. Their past experiences are just things they've seen, good or bad, and the thing they spit out not only is gonna be soulless, but is gonna be of a lower quality just based off of that fact. Because AIs tend to be generic. Because it's consuming a lot of generic things. That's the thing of it. AI can't make something unique because it's eating generic things and spitting out the average results of what you're asking of them. But most likely, right? I'll say it. It's gonna just be like a character design that already exists. Because that's how it works, If you generate something generic, it already exists. And who would want to use a VTuber brand like that? Power outage, oof. Reminds me, yesterday, also I went through like a little power outage where it just like the power turned off a little bit, but then turned right back on. Problem though is I was drawing at the time. Like, Clip Studio does back up your work, but there is an amount of progress that is lost. So like nowadays I just like particularly today I'm remembering to just save more out of fear. Right, use AI for design and you don't see references, you don't even involve your mind environment and experience. Exactly. I'm not like gonna name names, but I was acquainted with a VTuber who, like, I think they were using a like a customizable model, but has their mindset on getting a real model made, and then for the reference sheet they just use AI, and to that I say, but why? I'd imagine if someone came to me and went, "Hey, I want a VTuber model. I want it to look like this," and then you start describing characteristics, I would be much more appreciative than you just bringing me a soulless image of a generic, like, theme of a character that where the details don't match up and the colors don't make sense. I can simply, I don't want to work off of that. The only time I did something with AI is to argue with them, specifically AI chatbots. I I have never really messed with them, I don't think. See, like, find it I think I tried it when I was a kid, like AI chatbots. Kid, I mean, like, I don't know. It was like, when AI was way worse, and then it was like, you get it. That era of AI chatbots that's on like mobile apps, that kind of thing. I tried it, wasn't impressed. Also Siri. Siri was around. Siri was around. Um, and that was like one of my only interactions with like those types of chatbots. Even arguing with AI chatbots is having them waste resources. That is true. That is something that I've like really discovered later on in the AI apocalypse, so to say, where it wastes much more resources compared to something like Googling, which I find weird. Because to me, right, I don't get the point. Because, for example, if you were to ask the AI for information, you're looking to research a certain type of hermit crab, and you ask the AI, ChatGPT, for example, a question, and then they give you an answer, but then you can never be sure if it's correct. Do people not get that paranoia that they're just lying to you? Because they can. Oftentimes, a lot of examples of AI getting things wrong was pulling from the wrong resources that were just either satire and the AI can't detect satire, or just the wrong information that is like, spoken like it's facts. There's a website now where you just sign up and start generating images, and there's thousands of images every hour. That's so dystopian. That and the Discord server for Midjourney having like a really massive amount of members. I hope they're all bots. God, I hope. How image generation actually works. So I looked into how the whole thing really goes, but I decided not to try generating anything myself. Good call. I think there are very few reasons to actually go out there and do it when you have more qualms with it. Um, One example would be for the sake of research, as that would be the case. But like, dude, no, dude, I've had that at work. Work? Dudes come in and tell me, ChatGPT told me I need this, and I'm like, no, that's completely wrong. That's fucking crazy. Ah! Okay, I know that's a leap I'm making, but this is what I mean when I say cishet circles are scary, because that's genuinely like people my age of the cishet variety have a wildly different ideals of just things, and that's insane to me. Dudes walking out with components a completely unrelated plumbing system because ChatGPT said it's this. Dude, just ask Google. Google can give wrong information sometimes and does use water resources, but use significantly less, like 1/10 less, and also has referenced like multiple sources that you can just look through yourselves, that you can just reference and use your own thoughts. The critical thinking skills of the next generation, man. Or even this one, hell, they're getting their brains fried like right now. Also, I'm just like kind of sad for just old people. My parents, I like recognize that they probably do fall for like AI stuff because I've seen some of it too, where sometimes, my dad is really gullible. He's like a Christian too, so the bingo, and also uses Facebook. So a lot of the times, like I have to like sit him down and go, you can't trust what they're saying. A lot of that is computer, and you can't detect it. I know, I get it, but like that's harmful to like you and your belief system too. I don't want my dad to turn into a conspiracy theorist, but he's really fucking gullible. And like, especially like things that are relating to like more harmful information that are just not true because AI just said it. I don't know, man. Like, how am I supposed to like really do anything about it when there's no regulation around it? I ended a conversations once with brother that's 110 water hammer arrestor. That's nothing to do with the toilet. You just need a $12. I'm having a stroke. I'm I'm not dyslexic. I'm just bad with numbers and specific words that I've never seen before. You just yeah, a quarter turn valve and bro just left. Dude, I I found out, right, that like a lot of people just don't like having their views challenged, even when it's really dumb and trivial. So you just get people walking out of conversations unchanged. But when you've made really good points, you feel a little sad about it. But I get into some amounts of like disagreements sometimes over, things like these, where no matter what I say, I recognize that their minds will never be changed no matter what I say. It actually does the opposite, actually. Especially to conspiracy theorists. The more you try to disprove them, the more they believe in it just to disprove you because they don't like you now. I really despise the AI overview thing for Google, right? Isn't okay, here's the thing, right? The reason I despise it the most is because that already exists, right? You know what I'm talking about. Like it was here for like years. The thing where if you Google something, there will be like a box of text that tells you the summary of what you're trying to search. If it's, an important topic that like many people have searched before. And it's like, what's the point of AI overview then? Uh AI is sometimes disturbingly good at writing and that scares me. Like writing fiction, not just grammar. I I mean, for a reason. It's because they steal the words. AI isn't good at writing. It's good at chewing up other people's good writing and vomiting it. Which is, yeah, disturbing. But see, it has like a. It, it definitely is worse than human writing. I'll say that. New generation's brains are definitely cooked, dude, right? I feel bad, man. Like, where's the joy in human creation now? Hell, not even as a career, just like, what's the fun in everything? Like, when going through school, I had fun with reading, like, writing assignments. Sure, they're like bothersome to do, but like sometimes they'll assign a topic that I'm interested in, And in like researching for like an assignment, I learned something new that I'm interested in. And I came out of it like a more knowledgeable person, which is what school is supposed to do to you. But so much like writing stuff is AI now that when you come out of it, you just get nothing. You you got nothing. What do you pay for when you're in school then, you know? I remember Google Gemini told someone to please die just because bro asked for help for homework. I don't know why every place needs an AI feature. I just don't get it at this point. Also, Grok, the Twitter I think it's the worst of all of it. Well, one, because the worst people use it. Two, because that is an abhorrent name. I don't know if I brought this up before. I have strong feelings about it, dude. Grok? Really? That's the name? Like, sure. Gemini, a generic name. That makes me feel hollow inside when it comes to an AI. But it's like, that's a conventional name. I get why that felt right. Grok? Look, if I ask Grok a question and it answers me, I don't think I trust it. Its name is fucking Grok. Do you trust someone named Grok? Be real. Be honest. No, of course not. You wouldn't trust an AI named Grok. And apparently, as adding please and thank you are adding damage to the environment, increase the demands of water and electricity usage. That's fucking crazy. Dude, the world is burning down and I'm so scared of it. I'm somewhat being unironically. That is true. I am terrified. Cause like, I I'm not someone to always be considerate of the environment as a person. You know, I use plastic forks. But like, I know that's not the problem. There are much larger scale things that, frankly, are way fucking scarier. And very selfish. The thing with like, I don't know, man. I don't get it. Do normies don't know? I genuinely don't know. I want to sit down right now with a college student that uses ChatGPT, look them in the eyes and go, do you not know? Like, a lot of mainstream things are just uses AI without really considering what it means to do so. Even right now, where it's gotten this far, like, have they not thought about it? Not even just the environmental side. Sure, that's a bad thing. But people don't care. People have not cared. It's like so much more issues outweigh the benefits, and I just don't get it. Doing homework's lots of fun, right? It's like, I don't think people know that shortcuts aren't always the best way to do things. See, like the ChatGPT that is used to cheat school, quote unquote, is mostly writing assignments, which I find to be like the most fun ones. Because like you're given an amount of creative liberty almost every time. And you get to write things about the things you're passionate about, and I find that so fun. You know, one time I wrote like a paper about like I I think it was like turtles. And I got a lot of it out of it. And like sure, I might have forgotten a lot of it by now. God forbid I'd have no memory left. But like that was fun and good for me, for my development as a growing teen. Why did Raya's comment disappear? I think it's it's because of a misspelling, isn't it? I get it, I get it. Remember, Grog is named by the same guy that named his son, whatever that is. Which, side note, I have heard, I don't remember when or where, but it's supposed to be read as Ash, like casually as Ash. There's more to it than that, of course. But like that's like how the name is pronounced. And to that my question is, then why spell it like that? As long as the homework isn't overloaded, plus it helps me a lot when I do homework early as possible. You can easily manage time. Yeah. And like I just would feel a little bit um scammed if I go to school and paid money to be there. I know you don't have your own money. It's your parents' money. But still, they paid for you to be there, and for you to not learn anything is sad. Even though a lot of what you learn in school is unnecessary, I think maths, my least favorite subject. I didn't really get anything out of it, even when it's everything's done and whatnot. Still, it was a very necessary part of the school curriculum still. And like that in itself is valuable. Going through something you don't want to, because that's what work culture is. Because like a lot of the times, sure, you can cheat on like an essay by having ChatGPT write it for you, but how much of that would fly in an office? Bro, just name him Ash. That's what I'm saying. Ash, by the way, and I like it's so funny that the most transphobic guy on planet Earth has like his son the most like non-binary name ever. Ash is like classic non-binary. I've met several Ashes before. They're all non-binary. And dude, it's like, do you really have to go all that length just to name him a normal name? There's just like tech companies, they over engineer simple stuff, right? I find that so odd. What tech is in its oversaturated state right now is it's just a lot of reinventing a problem that no one has. I'll admit I used GPT like early high school. However, when I found out it destroys the environment and causes pollution, I stopped using it and felt so ashamed. I think I used it as a joke once when I was in school as well. And I kind of just stopped because it just was for a gimmick. I never intend for it to be used in any meaningful long-term way. Because to me, it wasn't made for that. Yeah, I didn't get a hype either. It just felt meh. I didn't see how it could ever be better than just doing your own research. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one who gets the beauty of creation, of human creation. It's like, man, I want to be able to make my own mistakes, not have an AI make them for me. Alright. Oh, I've gone further than I thought, just on autopilot. That's fun. Hmm. I'll never be able to take the name as seriously because as ketchup, ketchup from Pokemon, yes, but consider this. From growing up, right? Any like I grew up Thai, as you would kind of assume from me being Thai, but because of that, Ash Ketchum wasn't named that. He's Satoshi. To every other part of the world that is not English speaking, that guy from Pokemon is Satoshi. So like I just go about my days calling him Satoshi until I discovered, Western people don't call him that. And still in my head, he's still Satoshi. Because I grew up with it. I get it, researching is so fun, right? It's particularly, right? I recommend as one day if you're having just like a regular day, free time, think about something you're interested in. Say, like, the anatomy of a certain animal. Looking into that is lots of fun. And even, if you were not, if that's not your like cup of tea, a lot of stuff on YouTube, for example, from people who are like knowledgeable are also fun to watch and passionate. I follow a lot of creators that are zoologists in some ways. Either, are run non-profit organizations, have worked in zoology before in many ways. Genuinely like a fun thing to do on your free time. Cause I think I had a pretty big dinosaur phase as a kid. Cause they're awesome and cool, right? But like going on my own to do my own research and discover and fall in love with dinosaurs all over again as an adult, legit top tier experiences. Looks as amazing. Thank you. Side note, your your transparent PNG of me also looks amazing. For those for if you don't know, my model froze and now I'm just, yeah. My camera might be broken and that's might be why, but thank you. I do researching because the words I have no idea what it means. Then it just adds that little satisfaction. I own a dictionary too. I don't always read it, but I search for it from time to time. Dude, bring back dictionaries. I haven't used a dictionary in a very long time, but like finding what you're looking for in the dictionary is just fun. It's like a little scavenger hunt. I think I was also easily entertained back when I was a kid. But like if you're looking for like the word, I don't know, undulate or something. Like the lengths you have to go to, like you have to go to like the specific pages that has the letter E in it and try to find like alphabetical orders of where your word is. And that's like it's really satisfying when you find it. No, that's just dinosaur autism. I disagree. My brand of autism is not dinosaurs. I've discovered. See, I think in general, I just am privy to animals, but I think my brand of just fascination with animals is more water. It's more a lot of aquatic creatures that I like. But there is an aspect to me that just generally go for anything. I read them as break for my screen time. That's crazy. A dictionary as a okay, I'm not on that yet. Hmm. Oh, I love the stage of doing the base colors. Just really brainless. Feels like Subway Surfers. Okay, it's the fateful time. I'm gonna go piss. You guys entertain yourselves. Never mind, I'm back. Was it long? Of course it wasn't. I know. Been a while since I last touched my cookie run. I don't like how you worded that. I'm gonna re-download it. Of course. I still play it daily. I miss some days, but like on a general scheme, I still play it like a lot. I just love whimsy. Whimsy. Gambling. I mean, yes. Oven Breakout Kingdom? I mean, yeah. I also still play both. I like daily. I think they just have a different kind of charm and it just depends on the person. But I'm just the person that likes the franchise. Where's the strawberry? What? Oh, dude, I'm not even kidding. I went, what strawberry? It's the strawberry in my thumbnail. As a fun behind the scene, right? This thumbnail was made before my break. I've I made this thumbnail a long time ago and I forgot about it. I used it for the stream, right? And then because I normally have strange thumbnails, I just don't remember it. This has happened multiple times, by the way. It's either the thumbnail or the title where people will ask me something relating to the thumbnail and title, and I would have no clue what they're talking about. I'm gonna go finish a drawing and have fun watching your stream. And Yap says, "You're welcome, dude. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for providing me this flesh that I can borrow in case my camera breaks." I should make a PNG tuber to use as a replacement instead, but like I feel like, cause like recently, right? A lot of what I do has been not related to Leon or VTubing as a whole. I just do be enjoying myself, making art for other things, and just doing something else that well, aside from designing the new model, but that has not gone very far in production. Generally, I've just been doing other things that the thought of like making more stuff for stream is like not for me right now. It's something that I'll get to if I remember to, kind of thing. Hmm. See, I'm debating on doing a third R-Fight attack, but like I don't know if that's a thing that I want to do on stream. Because I've said I don't do sketches on stream. Maybe I will in the future if I'm more like confident in my process that it's cleaner. But like for now, it's hmm. Oh, that's the wrong thing. I put the wrong thing. Damn it. My name has been put to shame. I will never recover. Oh, that's a missing spot on the skin. And base colors. I do actually enjoy like my style right now. I have some polish, that's for sure, that I need to catch up on. But the thing with the line art, I find quite fun and pretty to look at. The outer outline being thick and having just general dynamic lines is fun. I've been forgetting to do it in recent times, but I guess I'm glad I'm back to it. Oh, here's the worst part. I don't know how to proceed. I know what you're thinking. What did you just like were just painting earlier? To that I say, yes, but it's never consistent. What is the song you use or sync with electrodynamics a little bit? No idea. I can't even hear it. I used to have the monitoring on my BGM whenever, I have it on, just so I'm aware of it, but that I decided not to because I'm tired of it. I hear it too often and it's getting to me, so I just kind of let you guys hear it and not me. Right, so I've been saying I've been like swapping egg whites with eye whites in recently. I don't know what it is. There's similar words. As you can see, I've definitely gotten worse at speaking. I don't know if that's true actually. A lot of it's just placebo and how I feel. I definitely am in like a pickle physically. because I'm still feeling of the effects of my bladder infection to some extent. Like, I'm recovered for the most part. Wait, I haven't told the story. I have to. It's so funny. Um, how I discovered the infection, right? So, one faithful day, it was 3 a.m. I woke up 3 a.m. And then I went to piss, as you do when you wake up in the middle of the night. And then when I went to flush, I was like, there's blood. And it can't be my period because that just passed like a week ago. It definitely can't be my period, and it can't be what's left of my period. So, you know what I did? I went back to bed because I was just so really sleepy to like I just didn't want to think about it at that moment. I just was sleepy. I don't know, man. I don't know what my thought process was, but that was what I did. So afterwards, I woke up again like 2 hours later and finally decided, you know what? I should go to the hospital. Like the second time I started pissing blood, mind you. I have a warped sense of urgency. I just don't feel it that much. For better or for worse. Typically for better, but this time for worse. Because if it was something more urgent, I would have not done it. That's horrifying. It is. It is. And I was scared for a bit because while waiting, because it was still like cracked dawn, like 5 a.m., right? So I worked myself. I was like, it's not urgent. I'm not going right now because it's not emergency room worthy. So I called my mom. I was like, hey, um is like, because I didn't want to go there like myself because low key, one, I just don't have a car and don't want to go there by train and take a taxi because that's bothersome when I have a perfectly good chauffeur. I called and was like, hey, is you and or dad free to take me to the hospital today? And so, that happened. So me and dad went to the hospital, and of the other reception where you get, I don't know, your papers, whatever, the lady at the reception would ask, what's wrong? What's the symptoms? What's wrong with you, kind of thing. And then I said, there's blood in my urine, kind of. That's what I said, along those lines. But I was too quiet, apparently, and she didn't hear it and asked me to say it a second time. And instead of, like, waiting for me to do that, my dad yells. Not just like, because he doesn't know how to control his volume. He just yells, pissing blood. Like, I know that's what I did. I know that's what's wrong with me. You don't have to say it so fucking loudly. Like, dude, it's not something to be ashamed of. I know that. When it comes to medical stuff, I know that shame is something that you have to shake away because that is important. When it comes to medical attention, you have to remember to not feel shame no matter what. But this is completely avoidable. You don't have to say it like that. You don't have to say it so loud. You don't have to say it at all, actually. So, like, blood out of any other orifice that is not from a cut or period is almost always a reason to go to the doctor. Exactly. And that's why I went. But I suspect that the reason I didn't do anything the first time is because I was really sleepy. And I'm just not the person to panic. That's just how I am. Normally, it's a pretty good thing. Like, for example, if just a fire started, I would, be not panicky enough to do something about it. But at the same time, that raises a problem when I'm just not panicking when I should be. To be fair though, the bladder infection, not that big a deal. But before I went to the hospital, of course, I was curious to what happened, so I Googled it, and there was a lot of things that can cause blood and urine, and one of them was just straight up cancer. But see, that's where my non-panicking trait comes in handy, because I just went, well, I don't think that's it, frankly. I don't think this is cancer. This is fine. I'm fine. It's probably just an infection. And it was. It was. So, yeah, that's my bladder story. Hope you find it enjoyable. It wasn't enjoyable to go through because it's not as contained as I'd hope it to be, or I just kind of assume it is, because when I hear bladder infections, I assume, yeah, it's gonna hurt in the area that is relevant, i.e., the bladder, just hurting in general when you piss. Instead of that, I got a blood curdling headache, like really bad migraines. And that's when hilarity ensues because I took a look at my meds and I was like, oh, these two are for the bladder, and this one is just straight up ibuprofen. This is a common thing, hell, dude. Why does it not stay contained in the bladder? The thing is that is infected is down here. Why is it up here? Like, I'm glad that there's ibuprofen, but I'll say it doesn't necessarily took it all away. A lot of it remains still, unfortunately, and I was just like rolling on the bed while everyone was doing productive things. I just can't get myself in the zone to do anything, cause damn, it hurts. Hmm. Yeah. Man, my head hurts. Google, you have stage 4 cancer. See, here's the thing though. Like, I find it quite sad that that's the case, cuz like, I mean, it's not for a reasonable reason. Google will do that because it is possible, and assuming the worst case scenario is often the best thing to do, because paranoia is better than just assuming it's nothing and then dying the next day. Because I'll tell you what, right? Headaches can be indicative of a lot of things. And, you know, going with the worst case scenario won't work every time. But, like, my grandma passed from cancer. And that wasn't fun. But the most unfun part of it was that it was preventable. If the doctors on the countryside were better, if, there was more medical attention put there in many ways, it could have been easily prevented and she would have lived for, like at least like a few years longer. It's weird because while like sure, googling your symptoms and seeing that there's a worst case scenario where it's like life threatening is not a great feeling. But like I think it's better to know that the possibility is there at the very least. Even if it feels bad, because I did have a moment of paranoia, just like not much, as is typical of me. But like, oh, I'm glad for it, dude. I'm glad it's Google and not ChatGPT. We're circling back to it. I'm glad. I'm not really. I don't know. I just randomly lock in on that part. I could just. Oh, I forgot I could just do this. What the fuck? My brain just don't work sometimes. That's not good. Sometimes I worry about having a condition, some like sleep apnea, for example, where, because I live alone, sleep alone. I think something like sleep apnea, if I have it, I wouldn't know. Because the symptoms of it was just headaches. Bad headaches that persist for a long time, but yeah, it's just headaches. And like not breathing in your sleep isn't something that like you actively think about a lot because you kind of just assume, yeah, of course I breathe in my sleep. The simultaneously good and bad part about having asthma is that if you feel bad chest pain, it could be that you're about to die or just asthma being silly. That, but for me, it's panic attacks. Cause you know, I have like just a lot of panic bundled up, and sometimes it acts up. Sometimes it's very random, and that's not great because it have a lot of overlapping symptoms with a heart attack, and if you ignore it like you would a panic attack, you could die. Like that's the thing, is that you never really know if you should just ignore it. Cause in when I got diagnosed for my panic disorder, I like didn't get my heart checked. I don't know why. I probably should at some point still. It's just that like my panic attacks been way less prevalent, and I don't really get those anymore nowadays. If it arose and becomes more painful in the future, that is thing number one to do. Is check if you do have heart problems and whether or not that could be a concern. Heart problems isn't a thing in my family, and just kind of like intuitive that it's more an anxiety thing. But, you know, symptoms are very like similar from just describing it. But there are a couple distinctions. Let's make that clear. There are differences, but you know. Asthma and tuberculosis have very similar symptoms, so there's always that idea in my mind. Yeah, it's that too. Whenever I go through panic attacks, it's always very painful. And because of that, I could never shake the feeling that it might be more than just my mind playing tricks on me. Because when your mind is inflicting you with that amount of pain, you just have to wonder, is it more than that? I am doing a horrible job by my standards, mind you. I, I can do better, I think. I'll try. I'll, oof. I also have asthma and almost died multiple times. Ooh. I've never really had a close call with death. At least not one that like was unexpected. My closest call was my attempt, and that was entirely expected. So like it didn't feel the same amount of like anguish and panic. See, the problem, right, is that it's been a long time since then. I've healed, gotten better. I've appreciated the life that I have and the happiness that is in front of me every single day. Um, but that makes me more scared of death. I've always thought as a kid that like death is something that like you'll come to terms with as you grow older. And in some way that's true. But like the more I appreciate my life and the things I have now, the more scared I am of what I won't get to have if I die, whether or not there's an afterlife or not. I don't have, like, at this certain point, if I die, the legacy I leave behind is not much. I haven't gotten to live out what I wanted to. So I just felt like I haven't gotten my money's worth. And if I just disappear entirely, if there is no other life, I just kind of just like poof. And it's like, man, what do I do with all of the things I've built up throughout my life? They just disappeared? That's a bummer. Mm, I'm so sorry. This looks. Oh man. This is getting depressing. I mean, yeah. I mean, grappling with deaths is always something that, like, is a harsh topic, but always one that I find to be quite, like, light in tone. I don't know what that really means the way I say it, but it'll come to us all eventually, and if it doesn't, maybe that's worse, actually. Like, I have thought about the concept of immortality and how, like, I would feel about it, right? And, like, a lot of a lot of things are just, oh yeah, you don't want to live forever because you'll be left to grief and whatnot. I personally don't really see myself feeling that way. I think my issues with immortality is the general world not, it's getting worse. A lot of aspects of what human life is built upon the culture and the world that I live in that I know so well. If I just live forever, that would change so much, and I don't know what that means. Because what if the world ended and I'm still here? What would that mean for me? Would that be worse than just disappearing? I think that's my like fears when it comes to that. I mean, like pseudo immortality is the way, right? Where you just like you can choose to die, you just can't die of like normal causes, like I don't know, diseases. Being free from diseases and aging is probably the appeal. Stream took at 180. What? What? Did you not expect it, dude? It's like the thing about just like being left in a room just to speak about whatever. I'll just speak about whatever. Sometimes that's just what it is, sometimes. Oh, I'm doing. I don't know if that's the right shade for it. I don't think so. Uh. You know what? Yeah, let me redo some parts of this. Color picking from the original image might make me closer to it. Maybe that's what I should do. Hmm. I am not complaining. I know you aren't, because you can't complain. You have no right to. No freedom of speech for you. Nah, 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 nah. Yeah. Good you're not complaining, because you can't. See, I like I've seen people refer to belief in an afterlife or religion as a crutch to cope, but the universe or existence as a whole inherently bleak in a way that's really messes with the mind. Yeah, I'd say so. Um, I I'm a natural skeptic. That's how I am, and that makes it hard for me to use that kind of crutch. Uh, I would love to have that peace though, but I think it's fun to think about and fantasize about the prospect of an afterlife. I think it'll, you know, because it's fun. I think if you think you're going to heaven or someplace better, or just reincarnation, I think reincarnation is also a fun one to toy with because the idea that your consciousness remains, but just like not you anymore, where you get to live on, just not not in an afterlife, not experiencing ecstasy or pain, just getting another gamble at like trying to live, no matter because like there are multiple types of believing in reincarnation. My least favorite is the type where you can just get like reincarnated into any species. Cause the likelihood of you becoming a human is very, very low. Most likely you just be an ant, an insect, and that's I don't think insect life is very pretty or enjoyable. A short lifespan and you just don't get to do fun stuff. You can even die painfully, like being invaded by a parasite, and using your final days to act out uh what the parasite in your brain tells you to do. That's terrifying. The idea of reincarnation disturbs me a lot. I think I'd rather cease to exist than be reincarnated. I think I'm not too sure about it. I think I would like some model of reincarnation. It's all about picking and choosing which one fits your fancy. Cause it's all that is there to it. It's all just stuff to think about. And what you choose to do with it is whatever. But like to me, like my consciousness, I do, like, at least for now, hold quite dear. You know, the ability to feel what I do feel. The prospect of that disappearing forever is scary to me. But like, experiencing life as an ant would definitely, yeah. Hmm. Also, another fear I have in death is my legacy, like in more ways than one. Like what I leave behind is, one of the things I put quite an importance on when it comes to like me being at peace with my end. And like, the things you've done, the people you leave behind, and just like generally being remembered. But also, desecration is fucking scary. I personally, I think as of right now, my after death plan, I would probably get cremated and get my ashes sprinkled into the ocean. I don't know how I feel about leaving behind a grave. Because like I hear stories, right? I know that's not necessarily like a very likely thing to happen to just anyone, but people are despicable, aren't they? I've seen grave digging is a light offense. I've seen them do much worse things when it comes to like the act of disrespecting a a dead one. Like, oh my god, I don't know if I want to leave a body for them to see. Also, within the idea of reincarnation, the biggest possibility is being a bacteria, so not fun. Yeah, but see, for me though, that model of reincarnation, I don't really like. I think because I have sentience, and if I were to be reincarnated, I assume it would be in something that has a similar model of sentience, at least an insect, where my conscious has gotten used to moving limbs, looking around, having eyes, having a sense of hearing, for example. I expect that if reincarnation were to be the case, I'd be born into something that could feel those things as well. Like, at least with a cognition, right? Because that's just kind of my assumption. I don't know how getting born into a bacteria would be, though. It's not so fun, but it's definitely funny. Like, imagine being a highly accomplished, like, person, like, legit discovered, extraterrestrial or something. And then, like, you get just rebirth as a bacteria in, like, a piece of meat. That's so funny. Like, there might be Albert Einsteins in my room right now, you know? Also, if someone gets buried, they get eaten by insects and bacteria, which is depressing and grim and demeaning. I think that is less demeaning than what people do to dead people. Because to me, I think the idea of feeding the life that, returning life to Earth is it's a concept that like some people mess with. I I think I subscribe to it in some level. Like I think I will be fine with returning my flesh to the earth. Let bugs just you know feed off of my flesh and whatnot. But like I think I prefer bugs. I think again ashes sprinkled into the ocean would be my preferred method of returning myself to the earth. Because I like the ocean more than I like the earth. Hmm. I'm back. Welcome back. Welcome to me trying to do hair. I've been here for a while. I've never really figured out how to do hair. I still don't. I don't think I know what I'm doing. Ever. I'm glad it still somewhat looks presentable given, I'm still somewhat an artist. I have my commissions open, but like, it's just like a lot of. Sometimes I just don't figure things out, you know? Sometimes that will be the case. I had difficulty breathing earlier and I'll be back. Oh, hope that gets better. Hope it is better. Gosh. Okay. So. Oh, that's a different. Oh. You know what? Yeah, I mess with it. Hmm. Oh, also, highly admirable thing to do with your dead body is to become like a donor. But I'll be completely honest. Um, I don't know how I feel about it. You definitely like, you donate your bodies to developing like science in a way, medical stuff, but like, um, I definitely want to be honored in a different way, huh? It's just a personal thing though. I think it's more what you prefer personally. Why is that why is this feeling odd? I don't know. The streaks of brushes are not landing the way I want them to, and I don't get it, I don't get it. Imagine there's taxidermy, but for humans, yeah. Although I would say it would be a cool idea to be fossilized. I would like to be fossilized while I'm doing a cool pose. Like when humankind extinct and a higher life form comes around, I know the likelihood of that is very low. But imagine, right? I'm just there in a museum, just chilling, striking a cool pose. That would be epic, right? Genuinely. I do like that would be a fun one. I know wasn't the biggest fan of getting my body preserved like that for people to just, you know, do what they will. But like fossilization is fun because I like dinosaurs. Just getting turned into a statue and covered in metal peak, a way to have your corpse stored. Oh, dude. Real. See, I don't know if I want my death to be something that I know beforehand or not. Cause like I don't want the panic that comes with knowing you're about to die, but I also don't want to do it abruptly because I want to plan it. Like if like I have an illness that's terminal, for example, I want to plan out my final moments doing cool stuff and whatnot. Maybe like host a party. Wouldn't that be fun? I just want a carbon fiber casket. Damn. You really do not have ambitions for your coolness after death, huh? Does it look good? I don't. I'll just keep going and figure out eventually. I'll like I'll see what I feel about it. Hmm. Water break. I have to remember to drink my water break. Ow, that water tasted odd. It's definitely my fault though. I feel like I just like my mouth tastes weird. The fuck you mean? Carbon fiber's cool as shit. Dude. Did I say that in a too serious tone? Sorry. It's definitely not as cool as being fossilized, though. Also, side note, I haven't done reaction content in a big while. I want to do something like that. I have an idea for it. I see, you guys been knowing that I have a lot of interest in like zoology and stuff. What do you say you guys like watch along some stuff with me? I have a series I've been meaning to catch up to on YouTube, but made by a YouTuber that I like watching, but I just haven't got around to watching the entire thing. It's a history of life on Earth. That we currently know of, which is just from start to now what the Earth has been through, like different phases, kind of like stuff like that. But if I technically die, then I want my motorcycle to be buried with me. Like that, I'm thinking about the casket shape of that. Or do you want it buried in like the casket next to you, like a lover kind of thing? Cause I think burying in the casket with the motorcycle would be more metal. But the question then stands, where do you get a casket that shaped? Item down, hell yeah! Hell yeah! Okay. I don't know where I'm going with this. Hopefully somewhere that looks good. A lot of like art is like trust the process because sometimes things just won't look good like at it's like some stages. I just trust myself, trust the process, and just go with it. Alright, now that I'm back to streaming, I will say that at the moment I don't really have much interest in doing a lot of gaming content. Just in general, I think I veered away from it, just naturally grow apart kind of thing. Not that I won't do it, I will probably, maybe, but generally want to do other stuff. It's mostly art. It's mostly art that I do. Maybe. And then, because reaction content takes amount of effort to do correctly, because I want to get everything right. I want to, obey by ethics and generally be a good reactor. I just throw me into the sun when I die. That would be cinema. Wait, not the sun. Throwing me to volcano if I die, dude. I've heard. Here, have you guys ever thought about how to fling yourself into the sun? I don't know where else I heard this from, but like as like something to think about, I suppose. Like, if you were on a quest to fling oneself to the sun, like, how, right? Given you have resources, let's say you want to make it to the surface of the sun without um dying. You at least want to touch the sun. You are not like fleeing yourself into the sun in ways of you don't have like a spaceship. You yourself are going alone with whatever gear you have, but no crafts. You're getting fling like straight up like flinged, just like you know, like how you would imagine getting flinged, but like into the sun. Cause like there's a lot of it that just wouldn't be possible. I think it's fun to think about. I don't know. I don't know much about space or what it would take to actually fling myself into the sun, but like I don't know. It's funny. Art or just chat. Find a good chance of pace in the meantime. Yeah. Like I generally do like fine. I've streamed art before, and while I, tend to have some moments of struggle, I'm fine, right? I'm fine. I've been doing this for a while now, And I also just do talk on like Discord calls when I'm drawing. That also is a thing. Cause, I think either whenever I draw, it's like one of two things. Either I'm watching something on YouTube, like listening to it, or have a little window to the side where I can look at it occasionally, or I'm just talking to people. Those two I find to be like, my go-to. I don't know if there are any like other in-betweens that I can mention. I'm not the type of as I listen to music sometimes when I draw, but not my favorite. I don't know why. It just doesn't work well with my way of concentration. I normally do like hearing just spoken words in videos. My go-to is either a stream, like an archive of a stream, or like a video essay. Typically works very well for me. Um, Mind you, important note that it has to be an archive of a stream. The stream can't be live while I'm doing that because inherently, when I know it's live, I would want to participate in some ways. I'm actively in the moment, right? But when it's like an archive of it, a VOD, I go, well, you know, the only thing I can do is just watch it however it is presented. And that like worked better for me. Imagine you can voice call with that. That would be very chaotic. Voice call with what? With this? What do you mean by this? That's why I changed it to a volcano. The sun would be too much work. True. And cause like if it's a cool way to die, right? You would at least want to make it to the sun, not die in the atmosphere. Also, by the time a human being got to the sun, they would just probably be messed up from the a vacuum of space just turned into ground beef from the launch. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. I don't think there's current technology and or gear that can achieve that. Because humans aren't meant to go to space just like raw dog like that. They're going in a little space car. Hmm. Also, I've been streaming for almost 3 hours. It doesn't feel like it. Maybe it's just because like I've been gone for a long time. Makes for just generally like you know more things to talk about, and then time pass quicker due to it. Because I surely the story of me and my bladder infection takes up a lot of time. Oh, it's just bleeding into this. I forgot I have the same layer. Whoops. I generally put all the same things in the same layer. Generally not a problem most of the time, maybe. Launch and lunch used to give me so much trouble when I first learned English. Oh, real. Dude, I get it. I still like have a friend who sometimes struggle to like spell the word lunch. It's really quite funny. Because like if you don't think about it, it could be like I don't know, weird to differentiate. If to clarify, I'm also still struggling with some English words, just like instinctively. I think I struggle with horses. It's like the word horse and house. I confuse a lot. No, normally it's just like when I'm reading. If I'm reading the word horse or house, I'll just like swap the two sometimes. That happens. Pretty much the extent of it, I would say. But I don't want to do too much of the eye stuff. Dude. I put too much effort into the hair, and now I like other parts suffer sometimes. I don't know. I hate my process sometimes. Imagine dying, being thrown into Arctic waters and becoming part of an iceberg. Ooh, ooh, that is an idea, huh? Hmm. Oh yeah, that would make such a great discovery 80 years later. I mean, if you make it, I feel like there would be like certain things that would like, disrupt that process, I think. But it's like being fossilized. You have a small chance of making it, realistically. I haven't submitted my I should do that so I can give credit. I'm submitting my art fight attack on the piece that I made earlier, the stream. Uh, my brain is fried. Wait, is it in my bookmarks? Holy shit, it's not. How do I check like people I follow? Well, I guess I'll do that off stream. I apologize. I'm gonna have to ask Lily. And then giving a random person a heart attack from seeing a skeleton in an iceberg, it would like be so good. Like you're like a great discovery for them. Like they would talk about it every time like they meet someone new. Like that one time they found like a skeleton in the iceberg. It would, dude, minted fish, is that a username? Okay. I think I got it. Maybe. I haven't searched yet. I just like I think it may work. Mm. Minted. Oh, that's all caps. Why do I type in all caps? God, that's weird. Um. Oh, I did. Oh, okay. Maybe you'd have to like not have. Okay. Uh. Okay, found it. Yeah, it was a skill issue. I didn't find them because I put a space bar between the minted and the fish. Yeah. Skill issue. Skill issue. I swear to God, if the file's too big and I have to compress it. Oh, I didn't even. Oh. I'm just going insane. Okay, it works. They're fine. Hmm. Clean colored, fully shaded. Okay. All right, I have sent the attack. So now I sub an error, dude. What do you mean? Okay, man. Okay. I'll go through it again. Fine, whatever. It's not even. It's. Drawing. How would I title it? I don't know. How do you guys title the art fight stuff? I don't know. It's like it's like naming a piece of an artwork, but like I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm drawing, frankly. Having a breakdown. I'll just name it high. I'm better than this, I promise. I think. Yeah, sure, whatever. I feel bad. I feel like I didn't put enough effort. It's just like, why I don't know how to name it. Okay, I don't know if I should finish this on stream, considering it's already been almost 3 hours. Considering my neck hurts, I'm probably gonna end stream soon. But that's future me's problem. I'm gonna keep drawing for a little bit. And then I'm gonna lay down and read BL. That's my like just general rule. If I say I'm gonna take a break, I'm on my bed on my iPad reading BL. It's not always BL, mind you. I'm not that laser focused. It's just more statistically likely to be so. To make the iceberg thing more likely, drill a hole in the iceberg and have people throw you in there and then use like liquid nitrogen to seal all the water and the skeleton stays in there. See, yes, I think for that to happen, like, first of all, die first. But then you don't get to witness your cool death. Because, like, getting put into a hole of ice and then getting liquid poured on you, simultaneously dying from hypothermia and drowning, would be not pleasant. I think I would go about the iceberg thing. Is you like go by some painless means, i.e., like some version of poison that isn't that painful, and then have them carry your body there. No night shift? There is night shift. Half of the night shift of yesterday, i.e., today, was just me laying on my bed. I can do both. I can't do both on stream. I can do both on a Discord call. I literally was like on like the foot of my bed near my PC, just like I was just resting and talking to friends. I'm that good at multitasking. I'm just that good. I'm just that good. Um, let's do like one more. Yeah, let's do this part and then I'll end stream. Hmm. Power outage again? Damn. This power do be cutting out a lot. Damn. Rip. Dude, I don't think I think I take like power, electricity in my house for granted a lot. It reminds me of like a power outage that happened like on a lot of the time when power outages happen at my place is because the condo is doing maintenance. But like when it's completely accidental, it becomes that layer of like whelp, cause it happened at a very like early hour, I would say like 3 a.m. Everything bad happens at 3 a.m. I swear to God. But it happens at 3 a.m. There was no people like, employees at the condo except for like the security guys, which is bad because I need it fixed, or else I can't sleep. So like I just like tolerate it for like solid like 5 hours. Cause I can't go anywhere. Normally when power outages happen during the day, I can just go chill at a mall for a bit. But when it's 5, where would I go then? Sure, I can go on a walk, but you don't know Thailand. The pollution is bad, and you don't like walks in the city. I was gonna say that you could also use like wire so that the skeleton has a funny pose, but that made me picture a corpse with the mouth and eyes wide open, and this disturbed me very deeply. Yeah, it's funny when it's a skeleton, but when it's a corpse, it's a bit horrifying. That makes me think of like, except like if the discovery of your body was made like before your body fully decays, it's gonna be a completely different vibe. Also, when did you do the reaction? Ideally the next time I stream. Ideally. Which should happen. Uh, I have to check the runtime of the series first too, but I think it's reasonable. I think it's long enough and short enough to watch in one go. But yeah. Why did my brain come up with this? I don't know, man. Brain just funky sometime. Uh, oh no. I feel like my period is coming soon and I'm not happy about it. Like, why do I have to go through this every month? And if I don't, it's concerning. Like, okay. I someone who don't want to have children. I would gladly trade my fertility just to, you know, be able to get rid of this, but that's a very invasive and expensive procedure, and I don't think I can just get it that easily. But like, don't. I'm so sick of this. So sick of it. Please on the weekend so I can say the whole stream. We'll see. See, like, I don't really have a solid stream schedule, so I don't know, right? But you know what? Like, it's a good and like okay, fair point, I think. Like just in general, if I'm doing something that requires more planning and effort, I should probably do it on a stream where statistically more people can attend. Because if I put effort into it, I'd want people to like the maximum amount of people to see it, which I think is reasonable. Probably a good idea to put it on the weekends, yeah. Um then we'll see how that goes. And then the rest of my streams for this week is I think drawing, and then I'll try to figure things out with my camera first. I might not stream again this week because there's a lot of fixes to be done with VTube Studio and my camera both having separate problems, and then just generally. But mind you, I am back on the streaming grind, so if I do not stream again this week, mind you that I will be soon. Just I'm having some technical problems that will get sorted out shortly. Okay, that's the outline. Now it's time for me to end stream. So if I remember my outro correctly, thank you for tuning into the stream. Like, subscribe, and with all that said, signing off.